All right, now we are going live. Alrighty, well, we are starting a little bit late today because we're having some technical difficulties on the back end, as has ever been the case here on our Solana circuits, but I think that's okay. Today, we have Umbra Finance with us. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Been busy working on a few updates, trying to make the system way more rigid, way more solid, and that's what I've been spending my time on lately.
Nice, dude. For people who don't know, well, first of all, I mean, would you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit? And for people who maybe don't know
Yeah,
what Umbra is, do you want to go ahead and just tell us a little bit about what you guys are building?
yeah, sure. Well, I'm Kru. I'm one of the co-founders at Umbra. Uh, we've been building Umbra since you know uh, March or April last year. It was just a simple idea to bring uh, privacy for everyone, like making privacy the default. And it it began as an idea to just ship like an infrastructure product, but over the time we evolved it into a philosophy that we're just gonna build um, products that would promote. I mean, or build it on the infrastructure that we've built itself. And that's what it led us to building the Umbra wallet, the web app extension, and so on and so forth, and the payroll platform as well.
Cool, cool. So you're building privacy like by default within the wallet, right? And the payments platform and everything like that. How does that work? Like what can you kind of explain, I guess, first of all, like why that's not like default everywhere, I guess, and like
Yeah,
what's kind of the invention, like the new thing that you're bringing here? How does that? How do you enforce that, like on Solana?
yeah. So what we're trying to do is try to bring like shared state of privacy. Um, what has happened until now is there have been you know chains that provide like inbuilt privacy, but they are like in isolated systems. They're their own thing, which of course work on crypto, but they are private by default, but they only exist in their little ecosystem. What our goal was to make shared state privacy, that so that anyone and everyone who wants to add privacy to their protocol on an existing blockchain can do it. And that's what the whole idea of of building Umbra was. Uh, and we've been doing it alongside the Archeum team over the last year, and now here we are. Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, we definitely love the Arkham team. We've had them on here, and good dudes,
Hmm.
good dudes, good team.
Yeah,
We love to see it.
indeed.
Um, so how many chains do you guys support actually? Like what all can you do? Is it just basically anything
Yeah.
EVM, so or
Yeah. So, like in the current state of our products, like the main protocol works on Solana itself, and it's native to Solana, so that basically everyone who wants to add a layer of privacy can add Umbra to it and get privacy to it as well. But what we've built is a bridge that allows you to move funds from one chain to the other completely privately as well. Um, Currently, we support around 32 chains for bridging, transferring, and swap functions as well.
gotcha, cool. Can you do? I don't actually know the answer to this. Can you do like cross chain swaps privately as well, or
Yeah,
is
we
like
can.
bridging and swapping
We can.
separate things?
No, we
Very
can do
nice.
cross chain swaps. Yeah.
Gotcha. Because that's always been the thing. And Nate, my co-host, who unfortunately had some personal things come up this week and couldn't be here.
Hmm.
We talk about this all the time on the stream. That honestly, the whole bridging experience is kind of miserable, and I feel like that's
Hmm.
like a big reason why well, one of many reasons Solana really took off is just because people were tired of having to hop around. But if it's all in the same wallet and you're adding privacy, that's actually kind of huge.
Yeah. I mean, the core idea is to have privacy by default. So, by the way, I think I lost you. Are you around? Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right, no, I was just
Yeah.
turning
The
my
core
camera off
idea
and
was
roll
to,
my nose so you didn't have to watch that.
dude. I'm just afraid of all the technical errors that we've faced until now. So I'm just being caution.
Yeah,
Uh, Never mind. But yeah, like I said, the core idea is to have privacy by default, right? And building if we set out to build just infrastructure, it would have been a bit chaotic because there is no proof of concept. It's just a few documents that people might have to go through and try to do things by themselves. But the philosophy that we adopted was to build products ourselves on the infrastructure that we've built, and that's where we landed up by building the Umbra wallet. Now, the special thing about this wallet is that it gives you two options. One is you create an account, and it simply works somewhere like a Soulshare or a Phantom wallet. But then you have a private mode where you can shield any asset that you want, swap it privately, bridge it privately, and transfer it completely privately. So it initially began with just a mobile wallet that's available on iOS, Android, and Seeker. But then we expanded the product set to having a web extension, uh, you know, uh, and a web app as well. So now you can use Umbra and add privacy to your wallets, even if you don't download the Umbra wallet app. You can still use something like a Soulflare or a Phantom or a Backpack wallet, and shield your funds and trade it privately.
gotcha. So the wallet itself was more of just like the proof of concept, like you're saying. But the goal
Yeah,
was always just to
yeah.
kind of build the underlying infrastructure and then show people, hey, this actually works. Like, why is everybody not using this?
Hmm.
Basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the route that squads took as well. Like they have the multi-sig protocol available, and they of course build out an amazing web app for the squads protocol, but there was a certain evolution of their idea as well, right? Which led to them building the Fuse wallet and now Altitude. So this is the zone we are in as well, where we build proof of concepts, we test out ideas. If someone else wants to continue and they can try to build a better product, they're open to use the Umbra infrastructure. But if not, we'll push the product as much as we can ourselves.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're doing something a little bit similar at Raiku. Obviously, we're an infrastructure company, right? We're building,
Yeah.
basically more reliable transactions on Solana. But we're doing a lot of like
Hmm.
internal proof of concept sort of testing and stuff like that as well. Just okay, well, we built this thing, it's working. Um,
Hmm.
but it's hard to kind of present stuff to people if they can't really see what it does. You know what I mean? Or if they can't really see, that it actually works. So we actually have a couple things we're doing internally that now we're able to kind of show potential customers and be like, hey, these are like basic implementations and things that we're able to do, and now you can take it and run with it, right? So I think that's
Hmm.
it's a much easier model than just trying to explain things off of a white paper.
Yeah, it's like I said, proof of concepts always work. And the good thing that we have in the team is that, I mean, I am a design founder. Like I am not the most well versed with all the technical details of how Umbra works internally. But I very well know how a good product can be built. Now, of course, that it comes with a lot of constraints as well, because uh, the amount of effort it takes to build out distributed systems like Archeum, and then build you know uh, a protocol that uses Archeum, uh, and then ship an app takes it's a huge process, right? We need to map out all the edge cases and the user flow of adding privacy to a wallet itself hasn't been done before. Uh, so this is a new set of mental model that people have to adapt to, and we need to adopt in our future products as well. So all of this just aligned us towards building a product.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, can you? I know you said you're not super well versed with the, with the, I guess the underlying layer itself, but can you just explain like
Yeah.
what's the process of like shielding look like within the wallet? Like, what is that? How easy is that for users to actually do? Is it as simple as just like a little toggle or something, or?
Yeah. So in the current infrastructure that we have two separate modes. One is the public mode, and the other one is a private mode. Uh, uh, all of your funds initially would be deposited in your public mode, the wallet that you have already. But the second that you want to shield any asset, you just switch over to private mode and click on the shield button. And it's as simple as transferring funds to a different wallet. It's the same wallet that the amount is being shielded to. However, the user flow is quite similar to the idea of sending funds and hide and shielding them.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Um, and then how I know you can then use once funds are shielded, then you can still like interact with
Yeah.
presumably like most or all dApps like normally
No.
in a shielded mode, or how does
So
that
so
work?
right now what we're doing is we only use Jupyter for private swaps, but in the near future you'll be able to interact with any DApp. Uh, so the only DApp that you're using right now is Jupyter, um, and it can be used for swapping funds, but later down the line it'll be able to be used for like borrowing, lending, whatever.
Gotcha. I'm trying to even think how that would like work. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
go read the white paper, man, because that sounds like
yeah,
insanely complicated. I don't even know where you'd start with that.
yeah. I mean, they're like even the docs that we have aren't updated yet, but you'll see an announcement from us in the near future that answers all your questions.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'll be looking forward to it because this kind of stuff tickles my brain in the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, indeed. Like me, being the technical founder, I still have the most fun reading all the documents that the technical team and Cal write. It's something that I try to understand the most that I can, um, because it just helps me make better decisions while designing the product.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Um, so you guys built based off of Solana to start with, right? What brought you to
Yeah.
Solana specifically instead of Ethereum or somewhere else? Where I feel like probably at least to start, I know it's getting better, but it
Mhm.
probably would have been easier to go somewhere else to start with.
But I think Solana is like my home almost, right? Uh, I've been in this ecosystem since what 2022, um, 23 maybe, and it gave me my first job. It gave me like an opportunity for me to be a founder. Um, like we did the raise on Solana basically through Metadao. So all of it just pointed us in this direction, and I don't think so. We would have uh, made an alternate decision of either building on EVM or any other alternate chain. I think this is the best way or the best place for founders to be in. It's a healthy competition, um, and yeah, I think that's the
Yeah,
way it is.
Yeah, we definitely love Solana. We actually talked to a bunch of the guys from Super Team Balkan. Yeah, they do a bunch of stuff with
Yeah.
Metadao. We had them on last week.
Hmm.
How was that whole race process and everything for you guys?
Yeah. With Metadao, it was pretty simple. I mean, this time, maybe last year, I had a conversation with Profit about what Umbra is, and I was trying to understand what Futarchy and Metadao does as well, right? Like these concepts were new to me as well. However, one of my colleagues at Umbra, Abbas, used to be a scout for Metadao, and he prepped me for this in the best way he can. Um, and all of it made sense because ultimately this is going to be an on-chain business, and it would be really terrible if we just went through the traditional route of raising through VCs, uh, and be in a room where five people make a decision and nobody else outside the room gets to decide on uh, uh, what decisions that the business is making, and if it's good or bad for the business. Um, like Metadao helps us in all the right ways. So yeah, like I said, this I just had like one call with Profit in July, August last year, and one before the raise in October, and that's it. Uh, we were just already all prepped up, and the raise happened. Like it was shocking for me to see that we could have raised like $155 million, but you know, um, an early stage business does not require these funds, and we had to be true to ourselves here and send back 152 million worth of it. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It's really crazy because you keep saying this. So like, it seems like almost all of the MetaDAO raises they all always end up like very oversubscribed. It's like you
Hmm.
were saying, like if you're building an on-chain business, it makes sense to put the business aspect of it like on-chain. You know what I mean? Like it just um like now that we have that option, like why wouldn't you, right? Um,
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think that's the magic of what Profit and Colin do at Metadata, right? Like they scout the best humans, maybe, who are like on this journey to build an on-chain business and have the right models too. They have been, they're they have been correct with almost all their decisions right now, and I cannot, wait for the new teams to join this entire, collection of ecosystem that they have built.
yeah, I mean, to any founders listening or would be founders, it's like check it out. Like if you've got an idea
Yeah,
and you're looking to raise, like
yeah,
no better place to go.
no better place to go. Like, and the good thing is that they now have a permissionless platform as well, where if you have an idea and if you have the skills to build a good business without needing the permissions from Profit or Colin, uh, to build a great business, feel free to put up a proposal for a raise.
Yeah, and the old kind of the old ideals of crypto. Let the market decide. Um,
Yeah.
Makes it very very smooth. Kind of going back a little bit to the tech of what you guys are building now. What besides just the MetaDAO ecosystem and everything that that's able to offer for sort of the
Hmm.
business operations side of things. Um, what other like unique advantages does Solana offer that weren't available anywhere else for you guys?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I have a lot of it. It could be a biased take because I have only built on Solana, uh, and I've been only in this ecosystem, never left. But what I've seen so far, it breeds this nature for being a good entrepreneur. Uh, like there are so many ideas competing against each other, um, and so many teams competing against each other that it always feels like you aren't doing your best, and you have to be even better at what you do. I mean, again, it's not the foundations or anyone's decision to kind of promote a single team, but it's the team's agenda to be the absolute best business, and that's what makes like Solana way better. Like, we are not running behind ideals or morals or whatever it is. We all start on the same playing field, and just keep on getting better and better and better, and nurturing the next set of teams that are coming through. So
Yeah. The other thing too is it's like it is very competitive, right? Like everybody's trying to be the best that they can, build the best products,
yeah,
testing
yeah.
ideas, and may the best team, best product, and everything win. But despite that like level
Mhm.
of competition, it still feels very friendly and collaborative. Like the culture really does, where it's like you can talk to your competitors, and like most of the people in the ecosystem, they want to see the best product win. It's like we'll talk about like what we're building and our philosophy and how we're thinking about things with other people and how they're thinking about things, and maybe we disagree, so
Yeah,
that we ship products and we see what the market likes.
yeah. I mean, that's the core, ideology that teams in Solana worked with. Um, you might have seen it while talking to the guys at Super Team Balkan as well. Um, like the amount of competition that we saw at the recent Coliseum hackathon, it was insane. And the bar keeps on increasing every hackathon. Like, it was much easier to be a winning team maybe 2 years ago, but now the standards at which people are shipping products is just beautiful to see.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool. Also, shout out to Sesto. We had them on quite a while ago. Shout out to them
Yeah,
for winning in Coliseum, because yeah, that was a tough field, man. Like, how many projects were in the Coliseum
dude.
this last time?
Oh, dude, I the number is insane. I don't have it at the top of my mind right now.
I think it was like almost
But
like
again, Jason
3,000
and the
like
Chester team
developers.
are like, I think it's more than 3,000. Three
Yeah,
thousand is like rookie numbers for them at this stage.
maybe it was three
Uh,
thousand projects and that shipped or something like that, or
yeah,
entities.
could
I
be
don't.
3,000 projects.
Yeah, just an insane number,
But
dude.
man, like, I'm a huge fan of Chester and Jason. Like, wow, the way the founder thinks. I think we were on a stream together where I was judging like a couple of startups we're building on Solana, and were participating in the Coliseum hackathon. And Jason just stood out of you know all of these competitors. Uh, on the other hand, I saw like a similar idea, like the similar idea being built by at least like 50 other teams, and Sesto just stands out completely out of all of them.
Yeah, yeah. Big shout out, um, dude. And the other thing too is just that's I think one of the things that it started off with the foundation, right? That they were always the ones
Yeah.
doing the hackathons, and now to see we have Super Team Earn, we have like all these other like community run or sponsored or led kind of hackathons and events.
Hmm.
Like that focus on just get as many developers as possible, all hacking away on what they think they can bring to the table, and just that relentless focus, I think, has just been hugely
Yeah.
instrumental to the success of the network as a whole.
Yeah, and it's being done in a process, right? So, of course, there's an announcement for the Coliseum hackathon, and then you have these local chapters of every super team. There's Super Team India, Super Team Canada, Balkans, whatever, right? And there are people at these super teams who are nurturing the next generation of founders. And then you have Super Team Black, which is which does not believe in any borders. They just believe in the core talent and the capabilities of these teams. Led by Sheck, of course, he's a legend, uh, and it, it just nurtures healthy competition. You may be competitors in this, round of Coliseum, but in the next you could be teammates, and you could build an amazing business together. Uh, and then there is Super Team Earn, which allows like newbies to compete against other newbies and earn money and be a part of the ecosystem. Like I myself is a product of Super Team Earn. Like really early into wrote a couple of research bounties or design bounties and made my own place in this entire ecosystem that exists. So that's how like the ladder goes, and I am just super appreciative of where we are as an ecosystem for now.
Yeah, it's a great like Super Team Earn is just a great place to get started. Especially if maybe you haven't built that much on Solana, or you're not
Hmm.
familiar with the ecosystem, because it is a bit of a different like programming model and way of thinking about things. If if you've never really um, like tried to build anything on chain before, so it's a great way to get like just kind of get your feet wet if you're trying to kind of figure out how to build and do stuff on chain. So
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, think I don't have much to I've already praised these guys so much for doing what they've done for the ecosystem. I'm forever grateful for this.
yeah. All right, well we'll quit glazing them for now, but let's see, let's
Yeah.
see. I had some more question here. I mean, I'm curious because there's been a lot of
Mhm.
like financial regulation, so that have kind of come through to have to do with crypto. Like we saw Micah or Mika, I don't remember how to pronounce it,
Mhm.
in the EU and stuff like that. I'm
Right.
curious how like privacy plays into that. Do you guys have like regulatory? Geez, I can't talk today. Regulatory concerns you have to worry about while you're building this, or curious as to how you're kind of thinking about stuff like that.
Yeah, we are like really mindful of all these regulatory concerns that might uh, change in the near future, but we are playing according to the themes currently, right? Um, so what we believe is that Umbra is privacy for the good participants in the ecosystem. Uh, we try to take our own measures to make sure that it's on the right path. Um, the first thing that we do is we work with a team called Range, which scans each wallet that creates an account on Umbra. And if you do not meet the risk score that Range gives us, then you won't be allowed to create an account on Umbra, which means if you have an account here, that means you are safe enough to transact. Um, and That's like the first thing. The second thing is on the user's end. What we allow is to have viewing keys for the users. So if you want to share your transactions with your accountant or your or, whoever is doing the books, you can share your transactions with them without revealing the second party involved in the transaction, and keep things completely private. And the good thing about Umbra is that it allows users to have not just a master viewing key, but a viewing key that could just allow someone to see just a single transaction. So it's really granular in that sense. So on both the ecosystem's end, the network's end, and the user's end, everything is being worked on to a certain extent to be compliant enough. So these are the things that these are the measures that we are taking for now. Things will change in the future for sure, and we'll play the game when it's necessary.
Yeah, gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, because I've kind of wondered about that. Obviously, especially I'm not sure how much of your user base or kind of like what you're targeting is more at retail users or institutions or both. But particularly when you get into like corporate finance or any kind of traditional finance type business that maybe wants to do stuff on chain, obviously they don't want to just like reveal all their transactions, right? So privacy matters. but also like that those
Yeah.
those regulatory requirements can kind of get crazy because you have to be able to be audited, and you have to be able to, like you said, like you have to file maybe financial reports depending on your country and what that might look like and stuff. So there's a lot of complexity to that, I think.
Indeed, and I'm really inspired by like a few protocols on EVM side where it's compliant privacy. It's like your wallets are KYC'd to a certain extent. I don't know to what extent the KYC works, but uh, only those funds are allowed to be in a pool, and that's like a good approach, I would say, um, and an easier way to solve the problems with compliance. Um, I think we might adopt that pretty soon. It won't be like KYC, but another way of doing, just verifying where these funds are coming from. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. You do not want to be accidentally caught up in the same pool as somebody that's been sanctioned by
No,
OPEC, for example.
no,
As a business, that is a
never, never.
nightmare.
No. And it's not just about like the network safety. It's also about like the participants' safety now, right? Like the network can face a problem and get out of it. Uh, just because we have the compliance procedures in line, but it's the user that might end up suffering way more than the network. So that's something that we need to take care of.
Yeah, for sure. I'm curious, what are some of the coolest things you're seeing that people are using this for or are building on top of right now? Because obviously you guys are, you have the wallet and everything like that, but I presume you guys are working with
Mhm.
other, founders and products and businesses that are building on the infrastructure itself. I'm
Yeah,
curious if you
yeah,
have any projects you want to tell us about, or that you're particularly excited for, or maybe that you hope somebody will come and build.
yeah. I'm really bullish on an intersection of AI and privacy. Um, so it could be working with AI agents to trade tokens, trade commodities, they trade whatever. And the second thing that I am really interested in is AI harnesses. Um, Something like Venice is doing, or something that Arcium is doing with Blackthorn. Um, so hopefully, more such projects would come by, and we are ready to support them as well with the current infrastructure that we have.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if you'll talk a little bit more about that because I'm not sure. Obviously there's like agentic payments, when we've seen stuff like X402, things like that. Actually, that was kind of big
Hmm.
news that happened recently was
Yeah.
Cloudflare. Like basically any
Hmm.
site or anything relying on Cloudflare can now uh like has X402 support for agentic payments and stuff like that. But is it just like privacy in those payments that you're talking about, or are there other like applications or use cases to do with AI and
Yeah.
agents?
I mean, like just imagine. Of course, like agentic payments is one of the biggest use cases that might turn up. Uh, we are actively like looking at teams who are trying to build that using Umbra. Uh, but what's more interesting personally for me is just like imagine a situation where everyone in the world, even the biggest companies, are using the same model to run their own systems. It could be anyone, Hewlett Packard or whatever, Blackberries, Sony's of the world. And this data isn't private at all. Um, what happens if uh, companies could use the same model but have a layer of privacy so that the data doesn't go outside from their very own company? That's something way more interesting. So you have the same skill set as a Fable 5, but that's being run internally for your company and for the employees that work at that place. This is something that I'm way more interested in.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I know. I think this was last week. Karpathy went on some TV interview, I don't remember, and was talking like a lot
Mm-hmm.
about this. Basically, there seems to be a lot of backlash, particularly around like Anthropic right now, and people
Mm-hmm.
not wanting to give all their data and everything to these companies that a lot of them are kind of starting to lose some maybe not necessarily consumer trust, but corporate trust as businesses, because like if you're a business that has a bunch of sensitive IP right now, your options are kind of like, okay, well then we just can't like integrate AI into our stuff, and then we're kind of falling behind, or like that's a huge productivity loss essentially, or opportunity cost. But if we do integrate it, then we're just handing over all of our IP to these model providers, and then
Yeah,
a lot of companies can't necessarily afford to spin up their own compute, and the open source models maybe aren't as great. Yeah, it's a whole interesting thing kind of happening right now.
yeah, and just imagine it's like if we imagine anytime there's a new technology, something as huge as AI, uh, that comes by, it's not the retail or the individuals that are using it as a as a prime customer. It's these institutions, it's these companies who are usually the first customers and are using it on a way larger scale than any individual is. If you are starting to lose their trust, that means basically you're losing trust from like majority of your participants or your customers. So it'll be much better if there's a balance that's found really quickly before all hell breaks loose and people lose trust on these systems.
Yeah, I was talking about this in a group chat, I think yesterday, maybe the day before, um,
Hmm.
largely focused on like the group chats about like AI and how to use agents and stuff. But that we were like, I think maybe like you want to start a business, maybe you just get real good at setting up like local compute clusters for for small or medium sized corporations or whatever. But interesting stuff happening in that area for sure. Um,
Oh yeah, indeed.
yeah. Where do you think privacy, particularly on chain, is kind of heading in the next couple of years? Like, where do you think the focus is kind of going to be? Because there seems even back at like Mount Dow, like in February, there was like a big focus. I guess I kind of think of like I've been around Solana pretty much since day one. So there's been kind of like these cohorts, and they do overlap a lot with like the hackathons and stuff, where you kind of get like these new waves of products. And it seems like kind of a lot of the latest cohort or founders or projects coming out, a lot of them have to do with privacy. And I think Archeum is probably a big part of that, kind of providing the infrastructure and stuff.
Hmm.
I'm curious as to where you see that wave
Yeah,
going over the next few years.
yeah. I think privacy as a default would become the norm going forwards in a year to year and a half. Uh, and it follows this general trend that we see with tech, right? Like uh, how how long ago was something like a UPI or a Cash App or a Robinhood that was just being barely used by anyone, to a point where using Cash App is now just really common. Maybe I don't know much about what people use in the US, but like using Google Pay, Apple Pay is really common right now than using like cash, right? That's gonna happen to like privacy on chain. Like it's gonna be a part of every like D app that you use, every wallet that you use, every piece of infrastructure that exists. Of course, like you may have some L1s who try to integrate things at a core level, like privacy is inbuilt, uh, but that's not going to be the right way going forward. I think these things should be like built on top of chains and not like at the default level.
Yeah, that makes sense because I guess if every chain's trying to kind of roll their own privacy solution or whatever, then it gets like interoperability. I still can't talk today.
Yeah,
It just gets real tough. You know, if you're dealing with different like encryption standards and different things like that. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, the whole saying is like if everyone's trying to build a standard, then nobody's actually building a standard.
yeah, it's
It's
that XKCD meme where it's like, oh, there's
Yeah,
there's like 10 different products. We need to make one. Now there are 11 different products.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly, right? Like we don't want to build something that not is not accepted at least by 90% of the people. Uh, so that's the quest, and I think many people are trying to achieve that. I think hopefully within a year and a half, everyone comes to a conclusion about what the standard or something closer to a standard is, and that'll be really great for privacy or any other solution that we build.
yeah. Well, because that's when you say like because that kind of has to happen before we can kind of get just this privacy by default everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that'll kind of probably be the next step. I think you're right. That makes sense. Um, we've got about 10 minutes left here. What's kind of some of the stuff that you guys are working on at Umbra? What you got up and coming? You get able to drop any alpha or anything like that?
Oof. I might not be allowed to speak much, but there are. I mean, I can give you the reasoning about why we are doing it. So, like earlier when we were uh, like building the user flows for Umbra and designing the entire app, entire suite of products, right? Uh, we were always assuming edge cases because that's the same time when the infrastructure was being built, and there was Archeum being built as well. Like everything was running on DevNet until like March, April this year. Um, so I think in the last 3 months we have like enough data to understand where the problems lie. We know the edge cases and we know how to get around these problems. Uh, this is what we have started to work on since the beginning of this month. Um, and this is going to be an entire month long sprint where we um, just focus in on how to make Umbra the best wallet that exists, where there is no difference between using a private mode or a public mode. uh, Something that we are actively trying to do is just eliminate public mode completely. The second the money lands in your Umbra account, it's going to be private by default. And that is coming really soon. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that'll be really cool.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Um,
And of course, there are like some launches that you already know about, which is working with Streamflow for private vesting. And there are like many other teams that were like a couple of neobanks that we are working with. Um, the main problems that faced with neobanks is how to provide like compliant privacy. Like, of course, there is compliance inbuilt in Umbra, but neobanks have a different standard altogether, and how to reach their standard is something that we are working on.
yeah, that makes sense. It seems like there's just this kind of goes back a little bit. You were talking about sort of the proliferation of stuff like Robinhood, Cash App, all that. It just seems like there's a billion different neobanks out there now. Like I feel like there's another three of them launched every day.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I, I don't know how many. Like, I think there are around like 6 or 7 thousand neobanks that exist right now. I don't know if they're
Yeah,
all
that's a
on
lot.
chain or like, yeah, but there are neobanks that like attend to like a tiny cause, or like a tiny subset of humans. It could be a neobank for like farmers, or people belonging to a certain religion or a profession or whatever, right? But there are around like 6,000. um, and this is something that I feel that majority of them are nothing but a glorified cards program, like a gift card program, right? uh, the ones that are doing it really well, like I'm a huge fan of Motto. I don't know if you've heard about them.
No,
Avicii is
you
like
said it's
insane.
Motto, Motto.
Moto, Moto.
Okay, okay. What makes them
Um,
different?
Man, I'm just gonna let you read because we just got like 5 minutes to go. But Avicii is great as well, right? Like what Ram is doing uh, has been amazing to see. Both him and I think like our raises uh, on Metadao were like a week apart. I think so, and it's always like fun to see what he's up to. Uh, but again, like I would really suggest you to read what Motto is doing and what Shimon is building. I'm a huge fan of what they are doing right now, and excited to see like more people building cool stuff with neobanks and just not build a neobank for a cards program.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Like you said, we are coming up on time. So while I still got you for a couple minutes,
Hmm.
show yourself. Where do we find you? What should we be excited about? Talk to the
Yeah,
people about that.
perfect. Yeah. For everyone who's in New York and SF right now, tomorrow is the Metadao conference in SF. So Abbas and JW from my team will be in SF tomorrow. Please go to the Metadao conference. It's a start of something. Like Metadao is the best thing that exists in crypto right now. Uh, and on the 14th of this month, we have an event in New York where we are going to be revealing, what Umbra is up to with the new infrastructure updates, the new user flows, the new products that we've built. So, yeah, July 9th and July 14th is somewhere you'll find the Umbra team. Me, I'm just gonna be heads down, working with the team. Uh, like I'm barely like last month I did like a couple of podcasts, not couple, like multiple of them. But this month is just locking myself in a cave and just focusing on the product itself.
Gotcha, gotcha. I mean, that's what you want out of a
Mhm.
founder, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm locked down completely, so done.
Cool, cool. Well, let's see here. We still got a couple minutes left. Let's see if I haven't been looking at
Yeah,
chat at all. I don't know if there's anybody that had a question or anything here. Let me take a look. Normally we have these streaming in Discord, but since we didn't have our normal stream set up today, um,
hmm
a little bit different. Nope, looks like chat's pretty empty, but that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Um, well, yeah, I mean, I guess we can go ahead and call it here, man. But thanks so much for coming on and talking with us, and wishing you all the best. Now, I'm gonna go. I'm looking forward to the docs update, so I can read that, and I'll definitely check out Mono. So, um,
yeah.
quick
Please.
before. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
I
It's
was
all
gonna say
good.
real quick before we go. Where can people find you? Both you and Umbra.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, both of Umbra and me are on Twitter. Like you can find me at Kru_tweets. Yes, it's still tweets for me. I loved Twitter. I
Yes.
don't like
Yep.
X that
100%.
much. Uh, yeah. And yeah, this is the only social media platform I'm on. The rest of it is completely private. So yeah.
Awesome.
See where I'm going with privacy, right? Like
That's
that's my core motto.
right. He's like, man, I'm hiding in a
Mhm.
hole. At some point, I feel like every privacy maxi at some point just ends up like just disappearing into the woods. And
No,
you can see them again. You know what I mean? Just like one day, it's like the dream is to just disappear into like the mountain wilderness of
wow.
somewhere.
Yeah, dude. I think I would be, the opposite of that. I would, like stand up for everyone who wants to, uh, attain some privacy in their life. I think this is something that we are losing, just by clicking a few buttons, and for the sake of convenience. But again, I would never go into the woods, man. I would never.
Fair enough. There's bugs and all kinds of nasty shit out there, but
Yeah, it's nasty.
I like my air conditioning. Well, thanks so much, Kru, for joining us today. I really appreciate it. We're gonna go ahead and call it here. And
Yes, sir.
thanks so much, man. This was awesome.
Thank you so much for having me on. Take care, sir.
Absolutely.
See
You
ya.
too, man.